Time for another board game review, and this time we have the game Challenge of the Super Friends card game. This was sent to me by Cryptozoic Entertainment, and is designed by Matt Riddle and Ben Pinchback. Challenge of the Super Friends card game lets you play as Superman, Batman and Robin, Wonder Woman and Aquaman as you take on the nefarious plots of the Legion of Doom. Use the right power card at the right time to score big points, but look out for harmful cards. At the end of each match, players add up the points on their objective cards, and the one with the highest total wins. Let me show you how to play. Alright, so each player chooses a character, and takes that character's deck, consisting of 10 power cards, shuffles it, and places it face down next to them to create their power deck. So we've got Aquaman, Superman, Batman and Robin, and Wonder Woman. Let's say this is player 1. Then each player draws 3 cards from the top of their power deck into their hand. Then you shuffle the objective cards together to create an objective deck, and put it face down in the middle of the play area. And you do the same thing with the challenge cards. Now the game is played over multiple rounds with 6 rounds per match. Each round reveal objective cards from the deck equal to the number of players and place them face up. Let's say we're playing with all 4 players. You reveal 4 objective cards, like so. If this is the first round in a match, any revealed objective cards with special text should be reshuffled back in, but let's pretend this isn't the first round. Then each player will secretly choose a power card from their hand and place it face down in front of them. And as you can see, they all have different effects. Like Samurai, leave this in front of you until the end of the next round. While this is in front of you, ignore any challenges you would gain. The Flash, if another player also reveals the Flash this round, you each reveal a random power card from your hand and add that card's power to your total. Power is up here. Or Wonder Twins. When revealed, look at each player's hand. This is +3 power for each other Wonder Twins card in hands where that was played this round. So each player is going to put down a card. So let's say Aquaman does this one, and then Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman players play these 4 cards face down in front of them. Once everyone's played a card, you reveal them all simultaneously. Wacha, 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 and wachow. And then you battle. You determine the order of selecting objective cards by comparing the power values on your cards and resolving any power effects. Then you take turns choosing objective cards to add to your score piles. So let's go into the battle step. Let's look at our power values, which are the big numbers on these cards. Whoever plays the card with the highest power gets to go first. In the case of a tie, compare the tiebreaker values. That's the smaller numbers next to those big numbers. But first, we got to look at the text here. So, the Flash. If another player also reveals the Flash this round, you each reveal a random power card, but no one else played the Flash, so nothing happens with this card. Samurai. Leave this in front of you until the end of the next round. While this is in front of you, ignore any challenges you would gain. So this guy stays in play until next round. Utility Belt. If you would gain an objective card, you may instead swap an objective card with 1 from your score pile. If you had like a shitty card you didn't want, you could switch that out. And then Bracelets. This has +1 power for each objective card with negative VP revealed this round. So there is 1 objective card with negative VP, so she goes up to 6 power. So this one's going to be pretty straightforward. So Flash has the highest power, so Flash gets to pick the villain to defeat first. So obviously he'll pick Solomon Grundy because it's worth the most points. And he'll put him in his sort of victory pile. Then it's Wonder Woman, so she'll pick Captain Cold for 8 points. And then Batman, or the utility belt, sorry, player, or it was Batman, will pick the Riddler, because that's 4 points. And that means this player, Superman, is stuck with Frozen in Ice, which is -3 victory points. But if you gain this, do not discard your power card at the end of this round. It stays in front of you, and its power is added to the power card you play next round. So Samurai will be added to Superman's next card he plays, but he is stuck with these -3 VP. Sometimes power cards will make other players get challenge cards, like here Apache Chief. When you gain an objective card, choose another player to draw a challenge card. So if you look up here at the challenge deck, you could make someone draw a challenge card. Put this in your score pile, it is worth -2 VP. Or do not draw a power card at the end of this round. Basically, it just makes them have like a sort of punishment. So after you do the battle and pick your objective cards and you resolve any challenge cards, everyone discards the cards that they used. And if there were any unclaimed objective cards or resolved challenge cards, those are discarded. Then each player will draw a power card from their deck into their hand, and then you go on to the next round. So after 6 rounds of battling and picking up objective cards, each player totals the VP values on all of the cards in their score pile, and whoever has the highest VP total wins the whole match. and the first player to win 2 matches wins the game. Now, the rules of the game are very simple. Literally, all you're doing is putting down power cards and flipping them at the same time and seeing what happens and who can pick, objective cards first. So let me show you just some of the cards that are, in these decks. We've got Hawkman. Before anyone chooses an objective card this round, you may swap this card for another player's power card that has an even power number. Porpoise Skis. When this is revealed, you may draw a card and then discard a card from your hand. If you discard a card with 4 or less power, add that card's power to this card. So a lot of things will manipulate power values or, have special effects. Let's see, what else do we have here? If you play Green Lantern, you have to draw a challenge. He's a powerful card, but he comes with a risk. Black Vulcan, you can't gain any objective cards with negative VP this round. So some of the cards, characters share. Like, everyone has a flash card, but then they also have special cards like Super Strength. If you are first to choose an objective card this round, you may instead take a card from another player's score pile and put it into your score pile. I'm not going to go through every single card, but that gives you an idea of like how cards can make other players do different things or change values and that sort of thing. If we look at some of these objective cards, a lot of them are just straight numbers of different values, but sometimes you have things like transformed into a troll, negative 10 VP. Special power cards played this round have negative 2 power. That affects everybody. Or trapped in a storybook, negative 9 VP. If this is discarded because no one gained it, each player draws a challenge. So a lot of different things, like here, robbed of super items. When revealed, the player with the most VP in their score pile discards a special power card from their hand. So some of these can actually affect everybody. And then some of the more challenge cards, like at end of round, select your power card for the next round and place it face down in front of you. Discard the objective card with the lowest positive VP from your score pile. Yeah, that's pretty much the game, is you put down power cards face down, reveal them, things will happen. Maybe you'll cancel cards out, maybe you'll make yours stronger. But you're just trying to get as many of these VPs, well, not that one, but VPs as you can from different objectives, and that's the game. Alright, so obviously this game is super light. The theme is, fun. It's got the charming old school art of the Super Friends, and it's got goofy scenarios and things like that. But ultimately, all this game boils down to is just a game of war. There's little strategy here and there with card descriptions, like you could put down a samurai on one turn so that if you have a Green Lantern, you can play him without getting a challenge. You can kind of combo a little bit. There's very basic strategic decisions to make, but ultimately a lot of it is completely out of your control. Some of the objective cards that you pull make you shuffle your hand or discard pile into your deck, which can get annoying at how often it happens. Like, it happens a lot, and you're just kind of, okay, I guess I gotta keep shuffling. And also, it makes your attempts at strategy even more random. Like, yeah, I can try to maybe plan a strategy, but if a random card can just make me shuffle my whole hand away or discard pile, okay, cool. The problem with this game is that I feel like it wants to be strategic, but it also wants to be light and goofy, and I don't think it really does a good job of either. The strategy is so light and sometimes so out of your control that it can feel meaningless. I mean, I would almost rather the game go totally goofy and kind of embrace its silliness, like add silly rules, make it more of a party game or something where, oh, you gotta, do a silly voice or do something, I don't know. If you're gonna be silly and totally random, embrace it and make it, just goofy as shit. That would be more fun to me and more memorable than this, because this kind of game, you're not playing this game because you're invested in, my strategy and winning. You're just kind of just throwing down cards and seeing what chaos ensues. This could have been more fun, and I kind of wish it was more fun because the theme there's a lot of potential there. But as it is, it's just kind of a mundane, random experience. That and this game is way too long. Like, yeah, you can basically change the rules for, end whenever you want, but by the default rules, one player has to win 2 matches. One match is 6 rounds. And if you're playing with 4 players, like, let's say everyone wins a match, that's 24 rounds of gameplay just alone. You could potentially be playing, like, 30 rounds of this. This game is not... It completely overstays its welcome in that way. We were so unengaged and uninterested in the game that we were begging for somebody to win. quickly. That's not a good sign for a game when you want someone else to win so you can stop playing the game. It's kind of a problem I see in a lot of these light games where the game itself is not that interesting, but you just find yourself by the default rules, mind you. Obviously, you can tweak and house rule it, but by the default rules, you have to keep playing it, and it just becomes almost torturous. It's very light, so if you love the Super Friends IP, if you're just a huge Super Friends fan, then maybe you'll like this. But otherwise, I can't really recommend it. I found it kind of tedious and too random, and not even random in like a fun way. So, yeah.